What's going on? We are back. CBA podcast number 7 now. Dude, I try to turn off Discord notifications and it never works. So you're just going to have to hear the Discord notifications.
Dude, 7 weeks of this
Yeah,
is actually kind of
7
crazy.
weeks.
Yeah, almost 2 months.
We haven't missed a pod,
Nope.
which is a Sunday, which is actually, maybe we did.
We did a couple on like a Tuesday or something.
Okay,
But I haven't missed a week.
No, that is pretty cool. So kudos to us. Golf clap. Wait, snaps?
Golf snaps? Okay.
Golf snaps? Yeah, okay. Yeah, nice job, guys. All right, so we have another streak going on, and we have been lucky enough to have Duncan, Dustin, and
Yes,
That's it.
Duncan and Dustin on the pod, and we are going to keep that streak alive today with our special guest, Paul. Hey.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Yeah,
Mr.
dude.
Houston himself.
Yes, thank you for coming on. We appreciate the time on your Sunday evening. But yeah, we'll start this off kind of like the same that we have done for the past few pods. So Paul, when did you come into the CBA? Like what CBA year? Have you always had Houston? I know like we've recently heard the impressive bouncing around history of Houston. Take it a couple hands. But then other than that, yeah, just like a little synopsis of Paul.
All right. Hey, it's great to be here, and I love listening to you guys. You guys are doing fantastic for this league.
Yeah,
It's
thank
tremendous.
you, man. We appreciate that.
So yeah, I came in the league in 2069, which it was funny. I did a little research before I came on to see exactly like in real time when that was. It looks like it was in April of 2022.
Wait, you
I mean, so
came in
it's been almost
2069?
I thought you were tenured.
yeah 2069.
Wow, dude,
Yeah.
we came in the same year. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's how bad I've been. You don't have any idea. Yeah, because I know that I took over the team. It looks like in the middle of the season, and they weren't very good, and then I just kind of hovered around L, and then went down to the BL, and then went back up to the SL, then went back down to the BL, and now I'm a little bit of an ascension right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
Not even a little
this
bit.
is what's that?
No, I was saying not a little bit of an ascension.
You're on a
Huge
Well-
you're on a blitzkrieg.
But we'll get into
Well,
that.
if you look, I mean, if you look at my 2078 year, I mean, I had 93 wins that year. I was really pumped. I thought that was the team that I was gonna stay, and it was just a disaster. So
78. Ooh.
just,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of good players, but I had a lot of
Shout
bad
out Ruben
contracts.
Bahania, man. What a goat.
Oh my god,
Ruben
that shortstop.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I mean, looking back over all these years, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
I think I remember why I got him.
Yeah.
Well, this was
Yeah,
the-
so
I was just gonna say this was
Tenure.
the Francisco Hernandez like crazy
Oh, yeah, like
MVP.
the 5
dude.
5 war. Yeah.
love that guy.
on
Yeah.
on your team?
He had like
Yeah.
6 WAR.
Oh my God.
He's still in the league.
Yeah, he's on my team. Oh wait, he might be a free.
Oh no,
He's gone.
is that right? Is he
Northern
really?
Carolina's
Oh, that's
Reds
awesome.
team. Oh.
I had
Second
him-
base. Okay.
I gave him a really bad contract like a couple years ago.
Oh.
Funny enough, the next year when Jay Hunt had him, I forget who it was. It may have been it was Travis Weber, and we made a bet to see if Travis Weber or Francisco Hernandez would have a higher WAR
Wait.
in 2080, and I won that bet, and I still haven't been paid
Oh,
off.
okay.
So
I don't even remember that.
Wait.
That's awesome.
Wait. Wait. What was this in 2080? What was the
the
bet?
first year that Jay
I
Hunt had him.
traded him to the PL.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's why. I was
Yeah,
like-
that's why the bet got voided. I guess I'm 79.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Travis.
But yeah, he's a
No, I love that team. I love the pitching on that team. That's when I was flirting with God, his name escapes me now. I think he's playing for DC right now. He just got traded, didn't he? Or just that bulldog of the BL. I mean, he would rip it up, and anytime he got in the SL, he was just pretty lukewarm. How do I bring him
Was
in?
it Brad Heiss?
There you go. That's my guy.
Yeah.
And he's just a total asshole too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Disruptive.
he was a terror in the dugout.
Yeah.
Nobody liked him, but dude just won games in the BL.
The
so.
moment he gets on your team, you get like 5 messages in your inbox saying that your players hate him.
Wow, look at this. His personality type changed.
Yeah,
Wow, this
no,
is
he's-
Oh
cool.
wow, look at that.
He's adaptable.
Yeah, no, I noticed that the other day. It's like, wow, Brad Heiss isn't a dick anymore.
So
Alright.
funny.
We are
Yeah,
so tangent.
yeah, it's-
But yeah.
Yeah, so after that collapse, I was just like, what a bummer. So I just kind of hung around, and then I just started trading off as many parts as I possibly could,
Mhm.
and that led me to what I think I had 4 first rounders in '83, and that was the difference. Yeah.
And we were just going through this earlier. He had I fucking hate full
Oh my
jeez.
god.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
You got this.
Yay.
Hey.
Okay. We were just looking through.
Check out this 83,
Look at this 83 draft,
for
dude.
Houston.
Insane.
Oh my god.
He won the draft.
And he
by
has
far.
Yeah.
Shelton, by the way, right now.
Yep.
And I have Shelton, that's right.
hmm And like, fuck. Really, this
I mean, there's so many
guy who
people
just keeps
just- I
coming
mean,
back.
I never thought I'd fill a team in a year.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally, I filled a team in a year just from the draft.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I wasn't doing a ton of trading. I wasn't doing any free agency. Yeah, it was just a lot of drafting.
Yeah.
So is the CBA your first online league?
It's not. This is my second one. I'm in the original one was very wasn't too long before I started the CBA, but it's a dead ball league. So
What is it? What is a dead
so
ball league?
I think we're 19, 18, 19, 16 right now. Just the dead ball era.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
okay.
the GM of the Chili's, he's in the league with me.
Oh,
Oh, sick, Tyler. Shout out, Tyler.
Tyler, yeah.
Thank you for the jerseys,
He doesn't
Tyler.
really-
I appreciate that.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he's so good at that.
It really
I
is.
mean,
It's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have
So,
him like show us some of his
Dude,
work. if
yeah,
he could
it's
get on
through a
pod.
GitHub link he does it. Like, there's a code involved. I don't know.
That you know what?
Yeah.
That somehow makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I try to just give my guys like red hats, and I can't figure it out. And he's doing these insane jerseys. It's really impressive. Yeah.
So with this
This is-
run, to
So, yeah.
His first trade was an 85, like
Wow.
from 83.
wow, you just kind of acquired assets.
Oh,
and then...
Yeah, I mean, I did some stupid trades when I first got in. I've traded. I mean, how far can you go back on that?
I think we all have.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I made some stupid trades. I mean, I think I remember
Now I
I
wanna
made
know.
one with Bob, like at the trade deadline. I picked up a guy whose contract was expiring, and I think I gave him like a second rounder. It was just horrible. But yeah, I just didn't know any better. So
Oh, you got fleeced. Or wait.
I
you
got
the
I
fleecing.
get. Trust me,
You probably
this
didn't
minor
like that.
this minor success I'm feeling right now is after years of getting fleeced. So, but I'm learning. I'm serious.
Dude, yeah, you have a fucking
Yeah.
bull of a team.
So let me ask, like, do you feel like as you've been in the league for 12, 15 years, like in game, do you feel like you have kind of learned more about the CBA, and do you feel like this is your team now is sort of an answer, like or a solution to like what you've learned, and like you feel like now, I don't know, maybe just like you're learning the ins and outs of the CBA, and this is kind of like the reflection of that, having like this successful team?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, this is a decent representation of where I am skill-wise.
Uh-huh.
I think I can put together a decent team from the ground up. Now, we'll see how far it goes. I mean, with these guys who just stay in the PL year after year, obviously I'm not there yet. So yeah, I think it's fair where I am right now. I mean, it'd be really exciting if I made it to the PL. I never thought I would. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured at some point in time I would.
I mean,
That's the way I play the game. Yeah.
I think I could speak for everyone saying that I think you're steamrolling into the PL.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna give Mexico
hope so.
City a tough run for his money. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like we talk about the three-headed monsters, like you kind of have that three-headed monster with like Warrington, Ramos, Tessier. Like, I don't even think you guys
And then
have
you didn't
these
even
guys.
say Samson in there too. He's probably the best catcher in the CBA, one of the best catchers. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this team was built to beat Mexico City. I mean, because the first goal is to get out of the SL. The second goal is to win the TOC. I know that's probably should be my first goal, but I don't know. I just want to get out of this.
No,
Yeah,
dude.
I
I
think
mean,
it'd be really
being
cool.
in the PL matters, man. So.
Well, just to rub elbows with Bob and Mark. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, Tommy
Don't
and all those
romanticize
guys,
them.
and playing. What's that?
Don't romanticize them.
I know, but
no, we always say it's one thing to make it to the PL, but it's another whole ordeal to try to actually stay in the PL.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just so hard, to be there.
I don't even get it, man. Yeah. I guess you just have to be on everything, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could put hours into this game, and I'll never even come close to getting on anything.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely
I mean-
made strides, so.
Well, like for example, like what was up with that international amateur thing?
Oh,
Like,
we-
nobody would've-
we-
You know
we-
what's-
we-
dude.
We were gonna get into this as our last segment for like 15 minutes. But
Okay.
No, we
well,
can-
I
we
don't
can do
wanna-
it
I don't
now.
wanna-
Dude, no, I
Well, I just
raised
Like I didn't even know I didn't know that was a
thing.
thing. Well, I knew international amateurs was a thing, but I didn't know you could do that. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty clever.
Yeah, before Mike goes off, I thought it was very smart of DC just because like what he said made a lot of sense. Like if you're gonna go over 10 mil, you should go over 10 mil. And I mean, I
Yeah.
was pointing it out to Mike. Like he had $108 million, and then made another move to get more money or something like that after, and then signed
Right,
these guys.
yeah.
So he still has like $30 million or something like that.
Stats Plus hasn't been updated.
Yeah.
We could actually see like how much money he has, right?
Yeah, in reports.
Reports, finances.
It's always interesting for me to see how people spend their money because you could
It's
trade
31
money
still.
for
Oh,
picks.
okay.
You could sign and trade, do all these things with money, but having the strategy of just getting the top international free agents, it's it's another strategy that I guess DC is employing this year. So just a kind of a cool way to use your money, especially $80 million of it on hoping.
No, that's and typically anything Mark does, he does pretty well. So I mean, because I'm starting to pay attention to this, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I've kind of like kept an eye on international free agents, but I mean, I haven't. I usually don't have a lot of money. Well, I mean, I've got money to spend on other things, so I usually don't pay a lot of attention to that.
Like,
I mean, do you guys?
We've started to. We were a big hater of not hater, but we never really paid too much mind to it. But then
Yeah.
once you see that, like a Tony Marin, for example, he was an international free agent, and I feel like it's
Okay.
one of the only tools. Like you can acquire studs,
wow.
absolute studs, with drafting and trading, obviously. And I feel like the only other way to acquire like an absolute stud is international free agent pool.
Yeah.
If they end up filling out,
Okay.
you can get a guy like this.
We used to pretty much just, or I guess I'm kind of still on it, that like international free agents to me are more just like trade pieces. Like I've traded a lot of international guys when I was making my run in the PL to get loans, and that like propelled me into TOC and stuff like that. But like yeah, like DC has a threshold, like a stronghold on it. Like he knows what he actually needs to do with these guys.
Here's what I'll say. One more point on this is that the due diligence you do during a draft, like if you get in the draft and scout a bunch of guys and really do a lot of research into the drafts, if you put that effort into scouting and inviting the international amateurs to training and really like requesting scouting reports on all of them, you should be able to find a
Right.
couple that you can be like, okay, this guy should end up being good. Like just very high
Okay.
scouting on them, being like, okay, like that was a good dev report, like a current dev report going up. I feel like if you do your due diligence, then you could typically find some guys in the pool that are really good assets to have in your minors. So
Has anybody ever crunched the data on this, on the success rate of international
That's a great-
amateurs?
That's
I mean,
what we need to somehow figure out. Is
that's
like
a great point.
what
honestly.
is like the war, like we have like this sort of average war rating in like first few picks in the first round, like teens in the first round versus like late picks in the first round and second and third round
Okay.
picks. We have that for the draft. But yeah, Karuta is one of the guys.
I think when we say like the point of staying in the PL, like not just getting there but staying in it, I think the reason, if you look at the pool, it's like DC and Toronto have signed everybody. It's how they're able to keep a good minor league system with like without just trading pick or
they're able to keep their picks because they're able to buy long-term like playable players from international free agency, and then they use their draft picks to keep drafting, and they don't have to waste their draft picks on high-end talent.
Yeah.
And they're able to field a team every single year.
That's a name.
And that's what I love about it. I mean, the fact that Mark and Bob, they don't have high draft picks. I mean, they have first-round draft picks. And usually they can grab things from the BL and the S. But I'm just saying. I mean, I think I went through it one time and like. They're not drafting studs. They're drafting quality players, but they're doing something else. And case in point, that's what Mark's doing this thing.
And the thing I've realized, especially with, I guess DC doesn't do it as much, but Bob does it sometimes. I know Carolina does it. Is when they do trade these like draft picks, like it's something I struggle with sometimes. Like, I'm like, oh, dude, this is a good reliever. Like, I need a reliever. Sure, second and a third right now. I'll do it.
Right.
But they won't like trade like a first for someone. They'll trade like 2 firsts and a second to get like a stud because they have all of the other role players they need. So that's another thing.
No, that makes sense.
I think another like Mike was able to stay in the PL for a while, and he had 2 TOCs, and I think what Mike faltered on, which he's gonna do now, is that international free agent pool. He ended up being dry in his
Coochie
farm.
In his farm. His farm was like pretty dried up by the time he was, like 6 years into the PL. And I think the difference between his farm and like a DC and Toronto's is he wasn't signing those international free agent amateurs, so he didn't really have anybody. If he was signing those guys when he made it to the PL, like 5 years before he dropped down, I think he would have had some sort of farm to propel himself and keep himself in the PL. So that's when I kind of noticed. I was like, Mike, I think, it was like you didn't have a farm, and I feel like if you would have been signing those international amateurs, then you'd have some pieces to put on your team. So that's when we kind of were like, okay, we maybe should start paying attention to this international free agent pool.
No, that's a good point. I mean, that long game is just so hard. But you're right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll make my one piece short about this. But I was like, so obviously they just set the stage really well. I did have the plan I do now have the plan of acquiring like international guys, and I go on and I'm like, oh, okay, I probably got this one guy. I paid like $1.5 million over dev budget. So for those of you who don't know, if whatever you go over 10 mil, you have to pay double. So like, I'm like, okay, I'm already paying over, and then I just see DC 12 mil. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, he's at Scott. Scott put it the best that you can. Like, when you are the commissioner of a league, you will have a benefit, and what that benefit will be is knowledge, because you can see everything going through the back end of the game. So he's got this kind of like underskirt view of OOTP, and he can exploit everything that he can. And when he has 120 million to spare, then he can, wave that enormous schlong of knowledge all over everyone else. And now he has a team as he does. So
you mean he just has the added knowledge of the game, right? Not the added knowledge of anything we're doing.
Correct. I
okay. I'm sorry.
No. Thank you for pointing that out, because I don't want to try to defame Mark, and I don't want it to be sounding like it either.
Right.
Everything he does, all the power to him. But it's just, I was just really bummed out, and I was like, holy fuck, he shouldn't be able to sign. Like, I think this, I'll bring this up, but like, if you go times 4 over the budget, I feel like you shouldn't be able to have like any dev budget for the next 4 years, or it's double for the next 4 years, no matter if you spend 10 or not.
Real quick, just for people who are listening who might not know exactly the way this works, which is kind of me also. I mean, I understand we have a $10 million budget, right? And when we go over, where exactly does that come out on our balance sheet? I mean, will we see that immediately? Is that coming out of free agent dollars?
So
Like when Mark puts up. Go ahead.
So like it. So I have whatever I have. How much left? I have like 1.5 mil left. If I just keep going over, you'll see this total international amateur free agent penalties go up. So every single time I click 100K, I'm getting another 100K in addition to what I'm already adding to him. So like if I'm
And that's accrued. I'm sorry. That's accrued on the current balance sheet then.
Correct. Yes. So like if I'm Mark and like I'm putting a realistic $400 million on this guy, then I would incur a penalty of another 400. Well, I guess. Oh yeah, because that's to factor out of the 1.3 that I have. So yeah, it would be something like that.
Another thing too is now. So Mark must have not spent. Last year he haven't have went over the cap at all. So like last year he probably spent exactly 10 mil.
Right.
And then this year he geared up and bought the best. And then next year he'll have that cap on him, the 1.66, or it'll even be like 850.
What did you guys do last year? I mean, did you three go after these guys much, or?
Yeah, I actually I look up what was his name? I spent it on.
Oh, Dry Hughes.
Yeah, Dry Hughes. So I put all mine into this. I ended up trading him, but I gave this guy 10 mil. All my budget. I just was like, all right, I'm gonna go after the guy who I think is going to be the best. And yeah, he was actually used him as the main piece to get Fleming. So I basically like kind of in a way I traded 10 mil for Fleming and a couple
that's worth it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. I think at the end of the day, you can always use them as trade pieces as well. So I signed a few guys this year in the free agent amateur pool, and I think it's just another utilization into getting assets. Like that's, it's really. I think if everybody in the league was competitive in the international free agent pool, then like Mark wouldn't be able to do something like this because you'd have other teams. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a fantastic point. I think a number of people commented on that. Like he just swooped in and got him. Hey, good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was paying attention, and a lot of people weren't paying attention. Mainly I wasn't paying attention to that. Yeah.
Yeah, BL team, step your game up.
I would like to see him. I mean, obviously for the competitiveness, I'd rather be able to sign these guys. But like, I think an active league, like if people are participating in this and like scouting and doing the due diligence I was talking about, then. Again, like I said, like DC probably wouldn't be able to do this. You'd see a lot more different teams on here than just, I mean, the PL is pretty active with it, but it's just again another way to build your farm up. So
yeah,
I guess that's what you have to do. Just throw out because this is kind of what it looks like. A few of these guys did. They just threw out money on every single person that they thought was interesting, and if it hit, it hit.
Oh, wow.
So I guess do that 1 year quick burst of. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's the thing. But yeah, I think while they were talking too, I feel like the international amateurs have just gotten a little bit better too. So like that's
this
thing
year
that we can all.
specifically.
It was a good year.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys feel that?
Even the past few years as well. I think.
There used to be like 1 to 2 studs. Like I remember international free agent pools were like there would only be 2 to 3 blue overalls, or maybe 4 or 5. But like 2 of them would be like guys you're like, okay, I know this guy isn't gonna pan out. So, yeah, this year specifically, it was really, really good.
It's the nicknames.
And I know I don't remember if I asked Tomei or Bob or I asked somebody at one point in time, probably years ago, tell me about IAs, and they're like, nah, it's a crapshoot, blah blah blah. So I've always just kind of had that stuck in my brain, like, yeah, okay, it's just a crapshoot. I'll worry about other things.
Well, in our most recent episode of our reality TV show drama, that is the CBA Discord chat, now everyone's going to be talking about IAFA for the coming years as well, I'm sure.
I know, right?
Yeah. But I guess that was a part of the video. right in the middle of another part of the video. So I'm glad we could check that one off.
Yeah, that was
and
good.
thank you for adding in on that as well. Kind of guided us to some other people who may not give a fuck about IAFA. So I guess now
Yeah,
we're
we'll
outed.
put a timestamp in that one.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess team construction, we kind of even went through that too. What's the next topic for Bob? I know you guys have some
Paul.
question. Paul. Dude,
It's
I've been
only
calling
Bob.
I did call you Bob. Dude, I've been calling
That's
everybody.
awesome. Thank you. That's a compliment, man.
Yeah, he called Dustin Duncan probably like 10 times.
He's
Oh
like,
no, that was hilarious. I loved it, and especially after the first time it was corrected and it just kept going. I'm like, all right, he's either doing this intentionally or
yes. Yeah, let's just say that.
But
yes.
one of the questions I had for you, and Jay Hunt pretty much touched on it. But I guess if there's anything else, the main question I had for you is like you've been in the league for a while. First time you've like really had this big sort of ascension. What have you learned over the past 15 years really matters in this game? Like a lot of people talk about, the 25 engine is different from 24, different from 23, stuff like that. Like what have you seen in your, I guess, CBA tenure that like really matters that was a reason why you made these moves?
Yeah, to be completely honest, I mean, I've always, I think I had a sales manager one time. He just said, Paul, keep it simple, stupid. I try not to overthink anything. I mean, pitching, defense, take the best player available. I mean, it's really, it's somebody, you guys were talking, I think on the last podcast when they were talking about matchups for the TOC or something like that, like, setting lineups and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, is extremely important. But I'm not doing that. And I beat Mark 3-0. I mean, come on. I mean,
wow.
this
Flex
game
them
is
guns.
no. But I mean, this game is so crazy sometimes that I just try not to oversimplify it. But again, I haven't been in the PL for 20, 30 years and stuff like that. So, but no, pitching and defense. Pitching and defense.
And a lot of the moves you've made trading picks, I mean, you traded the first for Carr.
And got Lofgren, right?
Yeah, just traded for Lofgren.
Yes.
Obviously, you got a loan on Fleming. Traded with Chicago for Antigua. So
yes, absolutely.
So just kind of garnering the
really
pitching
like
from
Antigua.
trade. Yeah, no, the rotation that Houston has is
insane.
bonkers. So you definitely.
But again, that was strictly to combat Mexico City. I mean, if you look at their line, their pitching is insane, and so I knew coming out of last year, I needed to do something. I mean, oh my gosh, I was banging on so many doors trying to get these players, and I mean, I kind of did. I mean, I wanted Fleming so bad, and you just wouldn't. Well, so I was talking about Fleming, and then a deal came through, and he's like, Fleming's gonna be a lot more. I'm like, God darn it.
It was
he giggling. Yeah.
Who traded the Chicago guy?
It was some crazy, and it wasn't a bad deal. It was a good deal. I mean, it was what the market was.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wanted that guy so bad. Yeah.
Damn.
You have him now.
Yeah.
For a year.
Well, I got him for a year. I mean, again, we'll talk.
After
the middle of
this
next
year,
season.
the DMs will be open.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys about. Who was the guy that had the 35 stamina that I just couldn't imagine was going to be a great starter? But he had done a really good job. Oh, God.
You have Antigua, who has 35.
Did I eventually get him? I just remember going back and forth. This is the pitch I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah, well, Antigua has 35.
Yeah, click. Maybe it was him.
Him, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that worries. It worries me now. How does a guy with 35 stamina? I mean,
the thing with 35 stamina is you need a good pen, which you have, but 35 stamina is fine because it will get you through 5 innings, and then you have 3 relievers play. So if your really good 35 stamina pitcher gets you into a ball game by the 5th inning where you're up 4-1, you don't need your top 3 relievers to play every single game that Antigua plays. So
that was
obviously
two
you don't want every one of your pitchers to have 35 stamina, otherwise
No,
your
right,
pitcher's gonna
yeah.
get depleted. But one guy like is gonna be really good, have 35 stamina. Like add him to the rotation.
With your pen, I definitely like you kind of just. I think what V said. I think you just need a good pen behind him, and then I mean I think we all think you're gonna make a TOC, and in the TOC you probably can use Antigua as like a starter, give him 4 or 5 innings, so
Yeah.
I think it's completely that he should do well with your pen. So
Well, that cost me 2 seconds and a moss. So we'll see.
That's not
Yeah,
that's a good trade. That's like I think that's exactly what I'd ask. Like that's
I mean, he's
All right.
he's
No,
like,
I
he
want to
checks
see what
every
Moss
box.
does.
Yeah,
I think that guy's
lefty
hilarious.
extreme ground ball has every single threshold you would want.
Yeah, like he's and the great pitches. He's got hold runners too, prankster. Like he's no. These are all things that factor in.
We've talked about
player.
Moss quite
Yeah.
a bit on the podcast. Man, he is such a weird
Oh, dude,
player.
he's hilarious.
Yeah.
You got that long thing. I think is what I
Like
Look at that
what
guy.
is this
You gotta-
guy
You gotta be
doing?
kidding me.
He's
Like,
a walking
is,
L.
Is this a 4-ball hitter? Like is this Schwarber in real life? You play him at the 1 and
It
just
is-
it
it
just
is.
I know, right?
It really is Schwarber. That can play third.
like
And that's a second rounder right there. I wasted a. Not wasted. I shouldn't say wasted. That's bad.
I mean, you got Antigua ahead of him, and I mean Antigua would be probably an early first-round pick right now. So
Oh no! Yeah.
yeah, that's
I'll
dude. The 158 strikeouts to 205 average to 115 OPS plus is hilarious.
Look at those strikeouts. That's so good.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude.
And he's still 2.4 WAR. You gotta
yeah,
be kidding me. Come
Over a
on.
third of the time he gets on base is because of a walk.
gives me this
Well,
guy vibes.
Did you use what vibes?
This guy, Yu Chang-ju.
Negative 11.
Oh,
WAR.
okay.
Wow.
He was a tank operator.
Horrible.
Oh my god, that's possible. You can have a negative 11. Like,
I think he's a record
how do you know
holder.
that? Like, did you have that right in your brain that you knew I'm
Yep.
Yu Chang Zhu? You knew that?
Yep.
So when you had Moss in your
You've played this game
system,
too long. What's that?
when you had Moss in your system, like I obviously you just trade him, but how did you interpret this guy? Did you have were you like, okay, this guy will be a part of my future plans, or was it just kind of like a lottery ticket?
Yeah, I just thought it was. I mean, remember, I took this guy in the second round. Sometimes I get suckered in by potential, and I see that just big, lofty 80
Yeah.
blue or 70 blue or 75 blue. I'm like, now, come on.
I was
Oh,
gonna- I
OTD's
guess-
probably.
I see it now, but
Figure
I was
something
going to
out.
ask, do you remember the ratings and potentials you drafted him at?
Oh my God, no.
Around there.
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. What that was 80. I'm trying to look at the year this was. This was 81. So I may have been checked out at that point. So I may have just been. What's the best available one? I don't know. I really don't know.
Sounds good.
No.
Yeah.
It
20,
was,
35.
I really believe that was completely intentional or unintentional.
Oh.
That's not even a bad.
I mean, really
second pick,
unintentional.
though.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good pick. Like
I mean-
you don't find a lot of value at the late second, so
You could play him as a platoon.
Pinch hitter, maybe?
he's just so weird.
I don't know.
You're gonna put.
Tommy
Really? You gonna put him?
loves these cats. I swear we could find another one of these weirdos. Oh, Dale Kindig.
Yep.
Yep, I don't know why he likes him.
He has a lefty and a righty one. He can really platoon them.
he got Robbie Goodwin from me a while ago, and he also has a long thing. It's not as long, but at least he has
Really?
a BABIP. But yeah, odd.
Home run or bust.
Yeah, actually. Doesn't correct me if I'm wrong, but does he have? Oh no, he doesn't. Who's that dude who got bounced around me and you? Josh Marshall. Josh
No, he's a
Marshall
little
too.
different though. He had like high avoid Ks. So.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I'm looking at your team and I see you have Zach Carr in the pen. Is that just from like the TOC, or are you gonna? What's the plan with Carr?
That's just something I think I just sorted during the offseason.
Okay.
I don't know where my lineup's going to be yet because I'm really curious to see because Ramos is coming off a huge injury. The pitcher Ramos as opposed to the second baseman Ramos, and so I'm just really worried about that. I mean, I don't know. I have too many starting pitchers.
I know.
Which is
No,
crazy.
I was gonna say it's not even.
I really do.
You have a
Run
good
6,
rotation without Carr. Like you can keep him in the pen. It's just like you just have so many good pitchers. Not a bad problem.
But again, remember, I mean, Fleming isn't mine, so I mean, I'm keeping that in mind.
But
I don't know.
This year, Carr in the pen, he's probably one of the best relievers in the game.
Yeah.
You pair that with Cyprian and Fuji, like Antigua can go one inning and you'll still win that game. Like,
And he has food.
I'm really proud of that Carr trade. I gave up a lot for that, but I mean, he was huge in this series to get into the SL. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember telling, it was Mike, right, that you traded?
Yeah.
I remember telling Mike, I was like, dude, you got to take this. Like, I think that's a really good trade for you, for Mike. And like now, like it seems like maybe even you want it. So
it was just a good trade for both.
Just the fun thing is, I mean, I love doing trades when it really benefits both sides, and that one really seemed like it did. So, or at least so far. So.
We had one back in the day that benefited both of us. I got Wayne Mangini, and I gave you Felipe Gutierrez. I remember that. And I think you needed the hitting.
Yeah.
And
that's
I needed
old
the pitching.
school, man.
Yep, and it was like I gave you like a stud hitter, but I got a mid-rotation piece back, and I think it worked out well for us. So it was just, I don't know, that's just one I could remember off the top of my head. That was like.
Was Mancini a big? Was he a reliever? Was he a bullpen guy?
He was a starter.
He was like one of the better, lefty ground ball starters at the time.
I remember Gutierrez.
Yeah,
I remember that a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, even the trade we just made, like, I mean, you get one of the only 80 stuff
there it is.
shortstops. Yeah.
Oh wait, that was Seattle
was
to
me.
Houston. Felipe Gutierrez.
I had Felipe Gutierrez.
Oh no, it would have been before this.
That's when I sent him, I think. Yeah.
I traded him Felipe Gutierrez.
Okay, it was Zach Carr for a first and a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like
that was a hefty price to pay with a guy I wasn't really sure about, but wow, he really came through.
Do we have money? Is he money?
Yeah, what's the money situation looking like for Houston?
I think I got him another. I got him a couple years, right? Don't I? I hope. I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do.
You have another, I think, 3 years.
Oh my God, you have
Carr,
another 2 years of Carr. Yeah, 3 years.
3 years of Carr. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, he had a lot of. Well, you know what? Shit.
And
you definitely did win
you
that
have
trade.
0 contracts too.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta have a lot
I
of money right now.
I love me some Fuji, but other than that, yeah.
The Fuji contract negotiations. The boys can.
Dude, he has every single subscript you could have.
But like, you put me through such an emotional roller coaster through those contract negotiations because I thought you were just gonna soak them for free, and I was getting so excited, and then you came back with wanting 2 first for it. I was like,
Did I really? Did I? Is that?
Yeah. Wait. Okay. No. This is so funny.
You know what's funny? So I do most of my contract. I do any of my trade or contract negotiations at freaking work. So I mean, I run a restaurant bar in Perrysburg, and so I'm telling you, most of the work I'm doing is when I'm actually supposed to be working. But yeah, that's hilarious.
Okay, so I have it pulled up.
So you say, what's that?
It goes from I'll take the whole contract, and I was like, oh my God, and then so this is why I was like so hyped, and then I was like, for what an addition, and then you come back Atlanta first 86, New York first 86. I was like, what? LOL, can't do that.
Yeah. You're like, what the
And then I say max I'd give up
is honest. Yeah.
Toronto second. How much would I have to retain for that? And you were like, nothing. I take the whole thing. And I was like, oh my God, no way. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you courtesy third for that. And then you're like taking 25 mil off your books for the 3 years is worth at least a first. And I was like, oh, because I remember sending the trade and you declining it. I was like, no.
But you didn't pay it first, did you?
Correct. I think we made a good deal with the
that
situation.
Was a really good trade.
Especially because you have legitimately no other contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go back up, that 90, that 91, that's not real, right?
No, that's not real.
Correct.
Okay,
You were
okay.
asking
Because I remember asking you, I'm like, well, that's not really like I'm not on the hook for 31 mil on
No.
1991.
Correct. Yeah, and I had this issue last year with, I think I told you about this, but for context for the pod, I had this issue last year or 2 years ago with Mejia and Yamamoto, where like when you sign an international free agent that had just come in, they have the same, like as we can see here with everyone with a minor league contract, they have the same minor leagues or major league service thing where their clock starts running. And technically speaking, you can add an additional year at the highest that you paid them for, like, technically without actually being on a contract. So technically speaking, if you do not actually want him past what his contract originally entailed, then you can just cut him after this 89 season, and then that 31 mil does not reflect on your salary, just like, say, if you wanted to cut Bryce Coco. Unless you're in love with Coco. No,
Throwback.
I know, right? But yeah, quick synopsis.
So, question for you. So, I don't know how much money you have, and we don't have to get into that, but I guess you built a pretty solid team already. Is there some upcoming moves that Houston's thinking about making, whether it be signing, trading? Do you think there's any holes on the team, or are you pretty much done?
Well, that is I think I'm pretty much done. That's a great question. I mean, it changes every day.
Mm-hmm.
I filled so many darn holes. Oh my God, I'm setting myself up. I filled so many holes with that loan that, I mean,
Yeah.
I want a better center fielder. I like Mike Mitchell. But other than that, I mean, not really.
You know what? I think
That'd be
Mitchell's
crazy,
a
isn't it?
solid center fielder, though. Like,
So weird.
Yeah.
No. Like,
You see
I
me
mean,
catch the ball out.
like I love 70 range for a center fielder. I'll take that any day of the week. Like I said, that's why, I mean, defense first, and I always have to put that in my brain, defense first.
yeah.
He's a good hitter.
And he can play the field.
Yeah, nothing's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anybody wants to call me, I mean, I gotcha. I mean, we'll talk, but I mean, at this point in time, no.
Man,
I just have to
Wait,
focus
go to
on
his
next year and keeping Samson and
Why do you have a game of
Fleming.
catcher? Why do you play a game of catcher? A full 9 in a game of catcher.
Poor Mike Mitchell.
Mans wasn't keeping up. Dude, his range factor's insane. That's good, right? He's a frame rating.
That's good, right?
He's a
Yeah.
positive frame rating in that one game.
Yeah, he had a pretty good game as a catcher.
Damn. Defense, me-fence.
He'll take over for Samson. Yeah.
But for as many teams that need a center fielder, I feel like you got that pretty locked down
Yeah.
with Mitchell. So
How's Egan?
Egan.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the long
Like,
thing.
Not actually a center fielder,
No.
but
Yeah. He had, I mean, what did he play? He played 86 games last year?
Yeah, he had 86
Okay.
games, 1.7 WAR, pretty good.
Yeah.
You know. BL Maestro.
My guy was Aaron Flowers. I thought Aaron Flowers was going to be my guy. And where is? I think he's in AAA right now.
There
He's
he
on
is.
your team,
But
yeah.
if I remember, what's that?
he's on your team, or we have him right
Is he
now.
on the?
Yeah.
Is he okay?
Oh, is it frozen? It's okay. Can you see it now? Okay, there we go. Yeah,
There he is.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I
yeah,
like
not
him.
too bad.
I just thought he would progress more. I don't know why.
Did you have him like as a you're saying you thought he was going to be your future center fielder?
Oh yeah, look at that.
I did, yeah. Before Mitchell, yeah. I think I
Yeah,
drafted.
potential rating drops right there. An 84
Mm.
from 50 to 45 as a center fielder.
Do you have 65
Yeah,
range?
I mean, Mitchell was an 81. He was an 83. He was for the 83. Yeah, he was one of the second rounders in the 83.
The
You know?
infamous
Yeah, but
83.
I mean, he could play for somebody. I think. He's at the bench right now.
Bro's marketing on the pod.
Yeah, I know, right.
Well, good thing you drafted Mitchell because you'd be needing a center fielder bad right now, but you were able to replace him very easily with Mitchell, so
Wow.
didn't really miss a beat there.
No.
Yeah, Mitchell looks good.
No, I'm telling you, 86 is going to be fun. I'm excited about
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'm excited about me and Mexico City and I mean Boston's going to be great. I mean,
So I'd like to.
there's another.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna kind of change the subject. Last time we asked Mexico City about just some like OTP questions, like how you think of the game. Like, so I was just curious, as far as like personalities go, do you pay much attention to that? Like, do you try to get guys with high leadership? Do you stay away from like the assholes, or how much stock do you put into that?
Just in my short time with OTP, and especially in my dead ball era league, I take assholes, man. I'll take assholes
they're
all over.
He takes
Yeah,
assholes and fills
yeah.
holes.
I have this guy as a first baseman. His name is Ansel Hall. It's so funny that I actually know this in my dead ball league, and he's the worst. But I mean, the guy just produces every year, so I always use that as sort of a like a test case. Like, does it really matter? And I'm sure it does. I mean, honestly, I'm really sure it matters as long as you have a leader in the clubhouse, as long as you've got some sort of reliever who's a leader, who's a prankster, who's a blah blah blah. No, I mean, when I'm drafting, absolutely. I mean, if I've got a guy with around the similar ratings, and I see it, I'm just like you guys. But I'm not telling you anything new. I'll pass on the guy, but I'm not gonna not draft a freaking stud just because he's an asshole. What do you guys think? I mean, do you find that you see differences?
I mean, I
Like
don't know if I
big
see
differences?
any like differences necessarily. I guess just as I came into the league and I talked to like Jay Hunt as he was sort of mentoring me through it, and other people, it was like always have one sort of captain on your team. And I guess what I've had is for every like disruptive player I've had, I've only had a couple during my tenure. I try to have one more captain, but I think like having like obviously winning really helps, but there's a correlation between the good personalities and winning in a happy clubhouse. So I think it matters to an extent, but it's definitely not something you should put over drafting a stud.
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing is when you look at like the
Oh,
international
go
free
ahead.
agent pool, like we look at guys with high work ethic sometimes, just because possibly like maybe those guys. I think Marin has high work ethic.
Yeah.
So like if you're like, okay, I see all these guys with high potentials, low currents, like which ones are gonna fill out? I think the guys with high work ethic have kind of a stronger chance to do that. Just their development track is greater. But there's no like, again, like what you said about the data with the international free agent pool. It'd be also cool to see like which guys with high work ethic, the percentage of guys with high work ethic,
Like
pan out. It's just
Right.
like random stuff that you wish we had, like we could see data on, but obviously it's so impossible to track that.
The one thing I do look at though is if I'm trading for a player and they only have like a year or two left, I will pay a little bit more draft pick wise for a player if they have low financial ambition, and pay less for one,
okay.
or
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
much sometimes not trade for one if they have high financial ambition, just because like if they do, I essentially think of it as like
they're
like a 2-year loan. Like what do I pay for a 2-year loan? Like how I think about these things is like what would I pay for the privilege to extend them and pay them money in the future?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one, Sparkplug. I like having a Sparkplug or two on the team.
Yeah. It's cool to see these.
What do
guys.
you feeling that does?
Get more
Gets
wins.
the people going. I have no idea.
I always thought
Okay.
yeah.
Usually, I think Sparkplug. It's like usually all Sparkplugs have like the high work ethic.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's kind of the opposite of like this disruptive lazy guys, where it's like the guys that'll fire the team up.
Okay.
I wonder if there's a correlation between like spark plugs and how they do in like big game situations, like bases loaded, bottom of the ninth versus like the low work ethic,
the clutch.
Yeah,
like
or like how many if you have like a lot of spark plugs or like 2 spark plugs, if you have a higher chance of like a higher 1-run win rate than other teams that don't have a spark plug or something like that.
oh, never mind.
I don't know.
Shouldn't there be like a guy on Reddit who's quantifying all this stuff? I mean, there's got to be somebody out there, right? Seriously.
It's us. No,
how
I mean, like,
big is the OTP?
Is it-
Like 30K?
I think more than
Yeah.
that, like
More than that?
50K
Oh
or
wow.
something.
Yeah,
I-
there
but
might be someone.
really-
Don't you
guys
guys know? Don't you have a stat major out there? You guys stat majors or?
I'm an econ major. If I have the data, I might be able to run an analysis. But
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, you can crunch some numbers. Okay.
Yeah. Exercise science major, I could.
Yeah, that's like
Actually, as an exercise science
Nice.
major, I'm trying to figure out why there are 12-year-olds that are 6'8", 220.
dude, there's a 12-year-old that was 6'11" I saw recently.
This game's so goofy.
Where are they getting these cats?
They're drinking a lot of raw
That's
milk.
awesome.
I guess so. We could find something absurd. We have to. Let's go to the age youngest. All right, he's a 12-year-old. Oh, okay, he's 5'7", 135.
Good.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
I
okay.
didn't actually think they did that.
That was 6'2", 12-year-old. Wow,
Wow,
okay.
6'2", 12-year-old.
Yeah, 6'2".
There's some
6'2".
crazy.
We could
ones.
we could do better.
I think you could probably filter it
Oh yeah, let's try to find the height.
in like miscellaneous or something like that.
I feel like it should be. See, these are the tangents that are great. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Height as at least 6'8".
6'8".
Oh.
Aw.
Wow, they're
No,
reining
no.
back on the Mongoloids. Okay, here we go. Ooh, look at this guy.
Dude, if
Sewell?
my kid was 14 and he was 6'4", 185,
He'd be
dude,
playing
he's going to
football.
the league.
yeah, no,
I'm-
he's playing. He's going to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
I'm retiring soon.
The last thing he would do
I've
is
always
be a
heard
basketball
that-
player.
I mean, have you, like first baseman should be really tall.
Yeah.
Like, does that matter?
I don't know
Yeah.
about the OTP. Like, I've talked to. I remember the old Boston GM, Eric. He used to talk to me about how he always wants. He traded me a first baseman one time that was good, but he didn't like him anymore because he was like 6 foot or something. It was like he's not tall enough. But
I'll take it.
I've never really paid much stock into it. I feel like just naturally your first basemen are taller, so you,
Yeah.
like. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I know in real
Right.
baseball it matters just because if a player's throwing to first, that you
Right,
want
right,
a bigger
right.
target. But yeah, I've never really thought
I
about
was gonna say,
it.
how tall is he?
6'6".
What is he? 6'6"? Oh yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah.
Look at that, yeah.
Wow, what a season he had last year.
Yeah.
Though you had to the whole time every sim you
Dude.
downloaded, and you're just like, no way he had another crazy sim like just over and over. He just never
I guess
stopped.
we still
It's
haven't just
crazy,
gone
I mean-
through the team, like just
Yeah, let's
fully.
do that real quick.
I'm gonna go through. So I don't know if we talked about this here, but I was just looking through
Mhm.
Houston's team after this trade went through, and I was like, oh my god! Like currently, when I took the screenshot, he had 75. This is overall, not potential. 75, 70, 70, 70, 65, 65, 55, and I'm like, what the
That's the
fuck?
starting 9. And then yeah, that doesn't even talk about the pitching. That's
Yeah.
just the offense.
So I had this beauty at the number 1 for you.
Now, that was a great trade because I was out of the first round if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
I'm proud of that one too.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I was trying to trade for that pick
Who
so
was that?
bad. Thank God you
Was that one of you
accepted.
guys? I can't remember.
Yeah, I offered you like Scott Bowman and a first for your pick or something, and at the
Yeah.
time I thought it was a fine deal because Bowman had like 65 range in the outfield, but now we only get
Yeah.
55. So good job dodging that one.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
no,
he's
I-
only 22. Well,
Bruce
yeah.
Milton is someone
He's a
like
stud.
in most like this draft was just so top heavy that like getting someone like that,
Yeah.
and you drafted him like this too, like no TCRs or anything, at the 114 is quite insane.
I mean, yeah. Look. I mean, look at that. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just get lucky sometimes. Yeah. And I mean, you knew he was going to be solid, but that's pretty cool.
No, he
But
looks
we'll
like
see
one
again.
of the best.
He's 22. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
looks like one of the best corner outfielders in the CBA, honestly. So
Yeah. No, this is crazy.
great pick. We all wanted Milton. We were
Yeah.
all. I had the 115, and I was like, man, I really
Oh,
want.
yeah.
I want Milton, and then Paul took Milton, and I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I had at year 1. At year 2, I had first baseman, Matt Ramos.
Ramos, yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my God, he's not tall.
403 average
Yeah.
last year. That's just
Insane.
That's
dude.
just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
insane.
yeah, and what a grab at 14. I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
The 14
14
was
It's
is
your
just
magic
yeah.
number.
Do you remember what he looked like whenever you did? He have what were his like current
No, I
contacts
don't-
at?
I don't. I have no idea.
It was a while.
Oh yeah.
ago.
yeah
I mean, I know he's
70,
pretty
80,
good, but
yeah.
I didn't know he was gonna bat 408. I mean,
Yeah.
Damn. He looks. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he was an 80 guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
His batteries were already in.
He's got to be the only
Yeah, you just
88
get-
contact guy in the whole CBA.
I think so.
Only like 209 hits. Come on.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Only.
Yeah.
That's
My
that's
God.
insane.
He,
So-
he had 519 at bats too. Like, where are the other 300?
Yeah, no, actually. So you got 70 Void K with 50 I going like straight into another guy who just cannot strike out to save his life. And then batting third for you, I have just Cody Warrington, Cody Rack up
Right.
them. Dude, he's insane.
Dude, oh my God, 1210 OPS.
12-10's astronomical.
What is that?
Dude,
Crazy, another 2083 pick. Like just
Yeah,
wow.
this is like, isn't it? Aren't those stats like? I guess the standardized stats that don't depend on games like OPS wasn't that near like Judge's like MVP 60 home run season?
I think
Like,
I think
yeah.
it's better.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah.
Around.
Oh, really?
The
Yeah.
average was definitely better, but like around that
The
OPS, I
OPS,
think
yeah.
Judge had like obviously at 60 home runs, and if we stretch another, like he would have ended a 162 game season with 40 something home runs, but
Probably 50.
Oh yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Dude, and this is only the start of his like he's not even at his best hitter yet. Coming into Gabriel Tessier.
Yeah, then you got a
at his
loan on
four.
Tessier,
Where is
so-
Tessier? There he is.
Dude, that guy's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
I want him
He
back.
hasn't even
Paul.
played for me yet.
Give him back.
I know. I can't wait to see this guy.
and I
He's
love that you're playing
raking.
him at second too. Like he's just so
Interesting.
solid.
Well, honestly, I mean, I haven't set my line. This is whatever the manager in spring training's done. I haven't even thought about this. So.
Wait,
Yeah.
who's playing third?
I have him slotting in at third base because I
Oh
have him.
yeah, I would
Conley can
actually
play.
probably play Conley.
I have him at 65.
You have Ted.
No,
You
I
have
think
Tessier
I
at third
think I'd
base?
also
Okay,
play
yeah.
Conley at third. At second, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Seeing that you have Conley.
And then after
Yeah.
after
I think
Tessier,
I think I had Tessier as my DH. In my mind. Yeah.
Of course he did.
Bro,
Keep it simple, stupid. That's all you gotta do.
But yeah, he would play insane. Like that's Gold Glove. I don't know why he
Yeah.
doesn't have a Gold Glove, but like
Oh, he'll get one. at
he's
some point.
Gold Glover material.
Yeah, he's only 23. He'll get there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. And then another great defender and another pickup this year, which will fill in your
Dude.
sixth slot.
Love
Just-
this guy.
Just,
Oh my
just
God.
stupid. He's your sixth slot. Like
This,
boy,
this
Yeah.
archetype just plays so well in
Yep.
this engine. Like,
Mhm.
Just a loner.
and
Yeah.
having this as your six is just insane.
and when the 7 is followed up with like the best hitting catcher in the league,
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
John
Yeah.
Sampson, who's another lone
On a
from
loner.
Toronto.
You gotta see. Yeah, loner. It's a loner though.
Yeah,
Like I think like relatively safely, I think like what 120 to 130 OPS plus at your 7 hole.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Which is-
I got a question for you guys. Have you ever seen a lineup that is so heavy loaning? I mean,
Oh, but
I mean, I really-
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
My
J-Dubs.
friend
oh,
Jack.
okay. No, that's cool.
He basically ruined his future because he traded a bunch of picks to get loans. He geared up this one season. He had a sick team. Like
he
it was-
assembled the
Okay.
as much as you assembled the Avengers, he assembled the Avengers as
It was
well.
crazy. Like every pitcher he had was like an ace, like 80 stuff. Like he didn't end up winning the TOC that year,
I
and he
beat him in
spent
the
Yeah,
first round.
yeah.
he spent a
Dude.
bunch of draft picks.
All right.
I remember
on-
I think we were both in the SL or something, and I had to play him in a tie break to get into the TOC. And it was right after he made all these moves, and I was like, dude, there's just zero way I can ever win this.
The thing with your loan though, Paul,
Alright,
is you
okay.
only gave up one first. So like, I know a first is a first, but it's it's just.
Right.
He wasn't insane that year.
I mean, if
just
you win the
loaded up.
TOC, spending
Yeah.
one first on that
No.
is totally worth it.
What
You
do you
know,
think?
I mean, more than worth
Yeah.
it.
Trying to figure it out. It could be just
I
27.
like to
that
think
season.
so.
No,
Mhm.
I did well that season. Yeah.
What year?
I think I told you all through the negotiations, like, dude, I hate loans. I hate loans. I
Yeah.
hate loans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just made it. Yeah, it just made sense. It's at some point it made sense. and
I
it
mean,
did.
well, you're at the stage though with Houston that like if you were going to make a move like this, it has to be this season. Like
Mhm.
everybody's reaching
Right,
their
yeah.
primes.
yeah.
You know, like this is like
Yeah.
the best shot you have. Like you'll have like in the future, the next few years as well. But I just mean like I guess coming off the season you had, it's just like how can I make a bigger push?
Mhm.
And I think the loan that's kind of like the use of the loan market is to make your team go from probably getting into the TOC to like automatic one of the front runners to
And-
win.
And that's what worried me. I'm like, I don't want to be in a relegation series because I mean, Atlanta could have easily won that. I mean, it won 3 games,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and so I'm like, I don't want to be in the same position where I'm just on the cusp. I'm playing a third place team.
Mhm.
Blah blah blah. I really wanna nail this thing.
Yeah,
so,
you wanna
yeah.
win the
Well,
ESL.
we'll see. And we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a 3-game like promo relegation or promo series, there's so much variance. Like you really never know. But like going off Jay Hunt, like you're gonna play a PL 3 or 4 too. You're not gonna have to play the top end of the PL either. You're pretty much slotted to be the 1 or the 2. Like as much as you say that, I want to make the PL more than the TOC. This is the TOC winning year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but it's so fun. I mean, that is even. I mean, to win that. Oh my god. Forget about it. I mean, there's no way. Yeah.
Yes,
That's not
I'm
even-
thinking
I'm
like
not
that,
even-
Paul. This is the year, man.
Yeah.
That would be insane. I would just like. It's. My kids laugh at me. Like, they care so much about fake baseball. Like, this isn't real baseball, right, Dad? I'm like, no, this isn't real baseball. These are all fake players.
Oh,
So Aaron
God.
Judge is on there. I'm like, no.
But have you seen?
So you're just playing with-
have you
But
seen
yeah.
Hope
You're like,
that
yes, I'm
Warrington?
playing with Gabriel Tessier. Like, yeah, he's better than Aaron
No,
Judge.
it's bad, man. Even us, we'll have like a party at our house, and there'll be like 10 to 12 people, and me, Jay Hutt, and Mike will be in the corner just talking CBA, and they'll be like,
See,
"What the
see,
hell
that
are you
is
guys
so-
talking about?"
That is so freaking cool. I mean, it's so funny. So I close every night I work. I close my restaurant, and so but I didn't close tonight. And they're like, Paul, what are you doing? Why aren't you working? And I'm like, I'm gonna be on a podcast. Podcast, Paul.
I love
I'm like,
it.
it's a baseball podcast. Oh yeah, we baseball. Yeah, like it's a fake baseball. they just look at me. They're like, all right. Then I explain to them the whole thing, and then they really look at me.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm famous. The fake
Dude,
baseball
I'm
world.
totally famous. I'm getting CBA famous, man.
Dude, that's so
That's
funny.
awesome.
That's so funny. I would love
Yeah.
this. It would be cool to have this. It's funny. Recently I sent one of the podcast videos into a few of you guys will know what this is, but the PBA, which is the Premier Baseball League, which is I think what our constitution is semi based off of. I was just like, oh, are they still running this? That'd be. I think I was hammered, but I was like, ooh, I want to be in this league. This looks fun. So I sent him one of the podcasts. I was like, yo, look at this. This should be a good little application process to getting the league. Or they'll probably be like, oh my god, this guy doesn't take shit seriously. But
Did you get accepted?
No, they haven't responded.
Yeah.
I don't
Wait,
even
isn't
know
that
if
crazy?
it's-
Do they have
Oh,
an
really?
application to get into their league?
Well, no, I just sent them an email. They don't have anything on
okay,
there.
okay.
I was just like, all right, let's just do this.
Were you
why not?
trying to get in the league? Or?
That, drunk me did. I would love.
Oh
yeah.
my god, that's hilarious. Drunk dialing freaking online OTP. Oh my god, somebody get like a medal. That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys didn't know what you were bringing in when you brought in us Goobers. No, it's really Jay Hunt's fault. He was like, "Oh, you want to get into this fake baseball league?" And all of us are like, "No, that's a waste of time. Holy shit!" But now it is our substantial waste of time.
This is what we do in our free time. I'm sure you could probably say the same, but a lot of our free time is designated.
No,
towards...
it's on the daily, man. Like we have 2 other roommates, and they hate us, man. It's all we talk about in the living room.
They don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be really fun for the listeners, seriously, and everybody who is listening to the podcast but doesn't know. Can you give a quick origin story of you guys? I mean, like,
yeah, of course.
How did 3 roommates at Ohio State University, do the OOTP?
So it started off actually the official first person was Big E Boston. Some of you guys will know who that is if you're listening. Big E Boston.
I remember that name.
Yep. He for the longest time his picture was a grizzly bear as his profile picture. But he was he's my sister's ex-boyfriend, and basically we were talking about baseball. I knew he liked baseball, and he was telling me about this fake league. Like, he was trying to explain it to me. I was like, that sounds cool. And then I saw that it costs $35 to get this OOTP game, and I was like, eh. But I did it, and I remember my first day in the league, I made an illegal contract, like completely illegal. Like, I don't know what I was doing. It was literally, I downloaded the file first night up, and I immediately signed this guy to an illegal contract, and everybody's like, wow, great start. So yeah, so he got me in, and then I started to learn the ropes a little bit, and then I was roommates with V during this time, and I couldn't talk about it with anybody. Like I tried to be like, hey, there's this league, like, just tell them, but I know nobody cared really, because it's just fake baseball, like. But then finally, V's a big sports fan, so I started showing him it a little bit more. Just like tell him about my team, and over time I think he just got interested in it, and I was just like, hey, like,
it was during the time like there were multiple league openings that it was like, okay, do you want to be in it?
Yeah, this is like a lull.
Yeah, I really feel bad for Jax that he didn't know what to talk about it, because I remember one night he was in the TOC finals, and I really didn't understand like the gravity of it, and like. And he lost the Game 7 of the TOC finals. And he was like, dude, this is like the worst. I'm like, dude, it's fine. It's just a fake league. If that happened, if that happened to me, I'd be a bottle deep by like within the hour.
But that's awesome. So this was back, so just for dating wise, I got in on 2067, so right around your time. I joined 2067, and then V joined 2069. So it was just... Yeah, it was like in real time, like maybe a couple months after I got in. But yeah, so V was my roommate, got him in. But I do want to say, first of all, shout out to Big E Boston, because without Big E, there would be none of us in the league. So
and shout out, by the way, I don't know, Big E was the inspiration sort of for this podcast, because he used to like do these podcasts a while ago.
Yep, he had an old podcast. And then Mike became our roommate. This was all of our sophomore year whenever I got V into it. And then junior year, Mike was our roommate. It took him a while. I think it was a little bit longer from me trying to get V into it, from me and V trying to get Mike into it.
I have no baseball knowledge at all. Like, I didn't watch the baseball.
Oh, really?
I played baseball like as like baseball and hockey. You always had to play something else in the off season. So like there was a little bit of that, but then I quit for hockey full time. So like I have I'm a Yankees fan through proxy parents, but other than that, I didn't really like the like, but like the last team I could name all 9 players on was that like Teixeira, A-Rod, Cano, Nick Swisher, Hideki Matsui, like all of those guys, and like way long ago. So like I don't know shit about baseball. So Jay Hunt did a really good job of getting me in the league, just because Jay Hunt and V would always just be playing OOTP. Well, actually doing nothing on OOTP from what I saw at the time. And then now I'm realizing that all of this clicking is actually gains a lot of dopamine.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job for not a baseball fan. Wow. Seriously.
What I was going to say is
I still know what stuff is.
I'm so salty because I was in first. I've had the longest time in the league. And each of these guys have a TOC win, and I have none. And I'm the one that got them.
Crazy.
Like, I'm the one that showed them the ropes, taught them like how to play, and
And
I don't
you-
even have a TOC.
You don't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both these guys have one, so I'm a little salty about that.
But more than that, and then we got J-Dubs into the league.
Yep.
And then we got another friend,
Oh,
Blake,
really? Oh,
into the league.
You know J-Dubs?
Yeah, J-Dubs actually has been my best friend. We grew up together. He's been my friend
Oh, dude.
since like 5th grade.
That guy is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
talk to J-Dubs all the time. I think I talked to V the most in the beginning,
Mhm.
and then J-Dubs and I just like, trade stuff. But, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
J-Dub,
Love that.
he's a super social butterfly. Like he does sales, and he can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
He's just so he's just, I don't know,
Dreamy.
He's a great guy. Like if I want to bring someone to like a family function that'll like socialize with everybody, it's J-Dub. So
You bring J-Dubs.
yeah. And so it translates to the
Oh.
league. He was really good with trade talks and everything. So yeah, we got J-Dubs into it, and then
By the way, we actually call him J-Dubs. Like, this isn't just us referring
Yeah.
to
You
J-Dubs.
do.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they all
What's
also
his real
call him
name?
Mike Cucci.
Jack. Yeah.
Oh, that's my son's name. That's awesome.
Oh,
Hey.
and I'm
Cool.
Jackson, so there we go. I'm the son of.
No,
I'm
not
Jack.
Oh,
Jack.
Jack's son.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Yeah. That's my son.
Well, I should have named
Well,
him
thank
that.
you. Well, thanks. I always wonder where you guys came from. So
No, thank you for asking us
Yeah.
that. That was
Yeah.
a fun little walk down memory lane. We've been in the league now, and you have too, for like 2 full years. I think at least 2
I
full
know.
years of real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I got into it Thanksgiving break sophomore year. So
Yeah.
2 years was Thanksgiving break this year.
And it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like now I can tell even from you, Paul, like our interest in the league and, like, I guess like our passion for the league has only grown. Like we're more into it now than I've ever been. So it's just,
I totally agree, and especially doing things like this really accelerated. And I'm doing a lot better than I had been.
Oh, yeah, that helps.
That always helps.
yeah, having a good
No,
team.
no, but but it's really cool to be doing things like this.
Mm-hmm.
People listening to it and hopefully getting involved, and I think we have a really involved league, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
100%.
With everyone.
More involved than I
chats.
think it's like really ever been.
Yeah.
Like it's been amazing.
One thing off your point, like I think the cool thing about the podcast and having like you on is it puts a voice. It puts like the online, everybody just seems like kind of like a robot, or obviously they're real people, but whenever we get these
Memes.
podcasts, it kind of puts like an actual person to the team, and it just like it makes me root for you and
Yeah.
Duncan and Dustin, like just, having like an actual relationship
Yeah.
and not just in the game. It's really cool.
We were thinking like, dude, what if Paul gets on? And he's like a 70-year-old man. Like we
We
really
honestly
have
didn't
no
know.
idea.
This guy's gonna suck. I think that's what's so much fun is because the guests I've already listened to. You're exactly right. You put a voice to a name at least, and yeah, let's keep going. I think it's great. I mean, let's get as many people on as we can.
Mhm.
Just
I love that.
Mhm.
We are so lucky to do this and to be able to talk to you guys every day,
Yeah.
every episode. Like I feel so lucky that I don't know, that we get to talk to you guys. It's just really cool.
Because
So-
at the end of the day, you guys are random ass people joining our podcast. And
I
you
know,
share
right?
this shit with us.
Well,
and
I-
you guys aren't random. Now you're like people to
Yeah.
us, It's awesome.
We're random ass people who play fake baseball all over this country, and it's pretty friggin' cool.
We are a small percentage of people. Isn't that cool? Like
We're niche.
we're minorities.
One thing that was cool for me and V is we went to a Guardians game and Adam came.
Oh,
Phoenix.
Mike was there too.
Oh yeah, Mike was there. So we got to
You
like
know,
see him
I
in person.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like this.
It was like
I
last
remember-
summer.
it was almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
Like a month or two to be a year ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why Mike and I are pushing so hard for the spring game. And you live close, so you got no excuse.
Yeah, you
Paul.
gotta
I
back
do.
yourself.
I'm gonna have a hard excuse. When is the spring game? Just so everybody knows.
It is April
April
14th.
early April,
Early April 14th.
something like that.
April 13th.
April 14th. I assume it's a Saturday.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's April 14th.
All right. we're gonna make that trip.
Yeah, but we're thinking like Adam's gonna bring his wife down too, so we're gonna
That's
have
so
a
cool.
huge. That's lovely. It's lovely to hear that. We
We're
know
so
Tommy's.
excited.
How
Tommy's
far is
just-
Adam coming from? Is he Cleveland or
He's
is
Buffalo,
he-
New York. He's got.
Oh, that's
family
right.
ties.
Buffalo. That's right.
Mhm.
Cleveland lives in Buffalo. That's right. Yeah.
Dirty Buffalo, the 716. But yeah, then Tommy's. Yeah, I lived in Rochester for a little bit, and Roch Vegas was a nasty place.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just there's something in the water in upstate, but all my family's from Buffalo too, so it's like, you know.
Oh, really? No
Yeah,
kidding.
really.
Okay.
Mhm. It's cool though. But yeah, Tommy's in vicinity as well. He's I feel like he's voiced some begrudging interest in coming down here as well. He might make the trip.
Is he a
out.
Buckeye fan, I hope?
He's what?
Tommy
Yeah,
is.
he's a
Yeah.
Buckeye fan?
Tommy,
Oh,
Tom,
yeah.
Tommy's one of the
Okay.
bigger Buckeye fans that vocalizes that in the chat.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
very cool.
Right.
And I think we have a few other too. But
Yeah,
mean,
I remember like I was like this if you're a Buckeye fan like sometime over the summer
Mhm.
last year, and I had like 9 people hearded it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So,
Ohio
yeah.
folks. I didn't even know you were from Ohio. That's
Yeah.
so cool. And especially around like the Northeast Ohio area. I believe Perrysburg is Northeast Ohio, right?
No, Northwest Ohio. Unfortunately.
Okay. So
I'm from Cleveland, but I live in Northwest Ohio.
got it. A lot of Ohio folks in the league, which is cool.
Yeah, and I think that was the impetus behind wanting to invite everyone out. I think we were talking about this like last summer or some shit. It was probably like around when we went to the game with Adam. But yeah, that would be cool. Then we could put faces to the voices to the teams, to the players, to the
That's right.
Discord.
We could do a big CBA podcast with like 8
Yeah.
of us.
Oh my god,
Dude,
we could
that'd
all
be
just
so
get
much fun.
hammered. We'll all get hammered and crunched down in this tiny little. No,
Dude.
we could put it on. We could put it on the TV and the proportions for
That might
streaming would
actually
be
last
horrible.
10 hours.
Yeah, dude, just all of us just sitting around with beers, talking about the pod. Make Tommy try snooze.
All right, real quick, guys. I have a question for you, and you can edit this out for the whole podcast. But the Buckeyes lose in Ohio Stadium to Michigan.
God.
Then they win the national championship. What are your thoughts? Go.
I was a fire Ryan Day unless he won the Natty. But the entire
Yes,
time I was
me
like,
too.
I think we have the best roster. We just need to let we just need to let Will Howard throw the ball.
Chip
Like
Kelly.
it just seemed like we kept running it. Like it seemed like that's what we lost against Michigan. We were playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And our kicker was like maybe the worst kicker in college football. I hate
Garbage.
Jaden Fielding. But this
All right,
entire
Mike, go.
playoff run was just dominant. Like it was insane. We the first game against Tennessee, we came out and
Right.
from there I was
The
confident.
Oregon game was the craziest one.
Yeah.
I
oh
mean,
my god. I was in shock.
Yeah.
That was insane.
No.
I mean, that was insane.
That was so fun. The first half was just.
That
But
was-
what happened against Michigan
Yeah.
in Columbus? I can't figure it out.
Still
I mean,
can't
because you're
do
right.
that.
They smoked Tennessee. I mean, we've all seen it. We were there.
Mhm.
We witnessed it.
if,
Um,
if the refs were.
I work with so many Michigan fucking Wolverine
Oh,
douchebags.
Oh, I
And
Fuck
bet.
those
Northwest
guys.
Ohio,
we're
I
still
bet.
recording, aren't we? Oh shit! I'm sorry. No, but it's just fascinating to me. Like they're like, oh, it's not a real championship. You lost to Michigan. You didn't beat the national champion. Blah blah blah. The defending national
Yeah.
champion.
The only thing I dislike and why I still kind of want Ryan Day fired is because we've all been here for 4 seasons, and if you do the math, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. We've lost every single
Single time,
fucking
yeah.
game
I know.
that we've played.
That's
Michigan.
crazy.
I have not had a happy Michigan day the entire span of being a Buckeye. So, which is like
No.
honestly, maybe we are the bad luck,
Yeah.
but like
Hey, we won a natty our senior year. so
Yeah, that's the big
Yeah.
big
That
thing.
helped
Yeah,
a
but
lot.
Yeah.
No, that's what's unbelievable. Yeah, they won the national championship though. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Paul? Like, do you feel like this is kind of a tricky question because, like, I don't want to ask, do you feel like the season is incomplete because we won a national championship? But to me, there still feels like there's a hole in there because we lost to Michigan. Like,
Yeah.
if we beat Michigan,
And I think that's why Right, and I think that's why I pose it to you because I feel that emptiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
look, they won the national championship, and they went the hardest way you could do it,
Uh-huh.
but they fucking lost to Michigan.
See, it's really interesting to
I
hear.
don't-
Like,
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I can't figure it out. I don't know.
it's really interesting to hear your like opinions on it because I grew up in New Hampshire and I'm a big football guy, but I never was really into college football. So like I
Yeah,
don't like
football in New Hampshire?
understand like how deep this sort of like rivalry runs. But
That's what everybody
So
says
did I
when
do
he
that?
says he's from New Hampshire. You're from New Hampshire? I've never met anybody from New Hampshire.
There are people in New Hampshire.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, okay. But no. Yeah, I'm listening though. Sorry.
Verbo sponsor us. Look at this. Look at this 40. He trips and then he still runs like a 4.42 or something.
Dude, I did not think he was faster than Quinshon. He
Dude.
ran,
Oh, yeah,
he ran
no,
a
he's
faster
definitely
40.
faster.
I had no idea.
If Quinshon cut his dreads, he'd be faster.
Dude, I hate like imagine being tackled by an NFL player by your dreads. Like that has to hurt so bad.
Yeah. I'll grow out some dreads and we can practice.
But Paul, don't worry. I was on top. I was in the stands when we lost to Michigan. I was booing the hell out of everybody.
Do you want to tell the viewers why?
Oh gosh. I put way
Yeah,
too
why?
much money.
I'd love to hear
bet-
why. Because he's fucking terrible. Friday sucks.
I bet live. I bet Ohio State money line live when we were like losing to them in like the second quarter. I put way too much money on this. Like,
Did you really?
yeah. So I feel
You
like
degenerate gambler.
I know. I don't bet often, but I just wanted. I was like senior year
That's
in
hilarious.
Michigan, and yeah, so I did that, and then I was very upset that
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Not only did we lose, that's why I shouldn't have done it. Not only did we lose to Michigan, but I just lost like 1/4 of my savings. So
Oh, are you serious?
It was- no, it wasn't that bad. It
A quarter
wasn't
of your
that bad.
savings?
I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad.
Ridiculous. You okay?
Maybe like a fifth, but
Oh my
no, I'm
gosh.
kidding. But no, yeah, it just I agree. It's hard to explain that to people that aren't Ohio State fans or maybe like Michigan fans. Like,
yeah.
it's hard to explain. Like, they're like, you won a national championship. Like, why are you complaining? It's
Yeah.
like you don't understand. Like, I have Michigan friends and they're on my ass still
Yeah.
because we
Yeah,
lost to Michigan.
right. And especially when you live where I live now in Northwest Ohio,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big freaking deal. And it doesn't matter who won the national championship.
Uh-huh.
Michigan beat Ohio State for the fourth fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
4 in a row. Of course, our 4 years.
I don't know. They would have won if the refs were on as many fireball shooters that I was, because every single one of those field goals I thought was in, because they went through 2 of the 4 uprights that I saw. I'm just saying.
That's so real quick, guys. How many of you guys have you been to the game 2 times?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we all get student tickets.
You're
and
like
make
senior
sure-
and sophomore year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
and you've been to them.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's so badass. That's awesome.
Yeah. It is. It's really cool until it isn't. But
And you haven't seen one win, huh?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
It's
brutal, dude.
the past 4 years, especially since the game tradition's always at noon. It's like wake up at like 7.
No.
This year it was
Wake up at
earlier.
5.
At 5.
Sure,
Tailgate until the game.
dude.
Get hype, and then get depressed and sleep for the rest of the day.
Yes.
Like that's just how
That's
it
been
goes.
the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
I went to Bowling Green State University,
Uh-huh.
and I remember the way you felt when we lost to Toledo.
Same thing. But also, I hate Toledo, so like that's
No, that's funny.
fair.
No, I did go to BJSU, but yeah, but I've always been a Buckeye fan, so yeah.
Oh, how is-
I feel your pain.
BG's fun. I've been there a few times for hockey. It's really like the big thing that I take away is just it's flat and
In
very
the middle
windy.
of nowhere.
Flat and
What,
windy.
BG?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, BG's really flat, yeah. I remember when I have a twin brother. It's funny, yeah, funny story. This is a OOTP story.
Oh.
The old owner of the New Orleans Crew was my twin brother, Chuck.
No way.
Wait,
Chuck's
Chuck?
your twin?
Chuck's your what?
No
He-
way. How do we not know this?
Yeah. Because I didn't advertise it because he got a little surly.
You know what?
Surly.
So, but it, But so Chuck and I, we both migrated out to Bowling Green. So yeah.
That's why you guys got to listen to the pod. We get random nukes like this. Paul and Chuck are twin brothers.
Dude, we got to bring Chuck on the podcast. Seriously, that would be really fun.
Yeah.
For Paul and Chuck. You know what? They would probably take over the podcast. You guys would be unnecessary.
Dude, that would be great. I remember in trade talks with Chuck, like throughout the day, it would just deteriorate into Chuck just asking for absurd things, and I was like, where did we go with this negotiation?
I got him into this. Like he was like, I'm like, dude, you gotta try this game. It's really fun. Blah blah blah. He's like, it sounds pretty lame, and then he really got into it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Actually, I had some good talks with it. I remember there was this one time, I think last year, like in general or something, like we got in, not like a tiff. I thought it was a good joke. And for a second he thought it was real. And then like the next day he DM'd me, he's like, dude, I'm so sorry about that. And I was like, dude, I thought it was a joke the entire time, but I thought that was a really nice gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going pretty hardcore at one point in time, so.
Dude, I love it. I love drama in the Discord. That's great. It makes
Oh,
it
yeah,
so
I mean,
much fun.
Yeah. Like Mike said, the reality TV show of the CBA Discord.
I forget if we were talking on the podcast, but we wanted to do like a weekly synopsis of funny funny Discord quotes from like General or something. Like, you know, we could have like a reoccurring segment of like just like, you know, books by Adam, or like, you know, like
Political opinions.
Rants
by
in
Adam.
politics, yeah. Or like, you know, like a Tommy Sass quote of the week, you know, like just something fun like that. But I don't think we've like kept up with it enough. But we need to make like a quotes channel like Mark has, but just keep it with us three and start doing that. That'd be fun.
Well, you guys have hilarious quotes. That's what I was always. I think I posted one time on like quote of the day or something like that from you guys' podcast. I really don't remember what it was, but you guys are hilarious.
Was it?
We appreciate it.
I think somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody could look it up.
Somebody really liked the Cody Weiss's Terrell Thomas without the BBC. That was a good one. I guess, yeah.
I think someone put like the thing you said, like, this is like that player that if you see a girl at a bar, it's really good, but they turn around and you see a bulge or something like that.
Who was that referring to? I was on one that day.
Yeah, this is one of the first podcasts that we've all done sober.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice job, guys.
So
I think V was a little saucy one time, wasn't he?
Oh
No.
my god, dude, that was so. I can't like go back to that podcast, and of course the Cody Weiss like moment is on that podcast because like I
You
can't
really-
even
yeah, that
understand
was
half the
hilarious.
words that I was saying.
And unfortunately, that was the podcast. Whenever we had V just talk about his team, it was like the V podcast. And of course, V comes to him. He's the star of the show, and he walks down like, "All right, guys, let's start the podcast." We're like, "Oh fuck."
God, I can't even listen to that one. I get too embarrassed listening to that one.
Our future college admissions office for grad school is gonna be like,
No,
what
right.
the hell are these guys doing? Oh my god, damn, dude, this has been. I don't even
Yeah.
want to do the next segment. Like,
No,
this
I don't
this
I
has
was
been.
gonna say
I have to.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to pare this one down. I think we're eclipsing almost 2 hours,
Yeah.
Damn.
which has been
That's-
great. I mean, that's fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
some great talks, honestly.
Oh,
And we
hey.
got into like the meat and potatoes of Houston and sort of like the international free agents. So
Yeah, it was a
we
good
stayed
thought
on
overall.
task the first hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, hour and 30 minutes is about what every episode is. Like, I feel like we always just kind of finish
Yeah.
up at around an hour 30. It's kind of naturally like that. I know a lot of people like, you know, watch the first 45 minutes or so, and then, but I know a lot of y'all really be watching it all the
We
way
appreciate
through,
it so
which
much.
is
It's
awesome.
so cool.
Like, just, you know, fold
Oh,
the
I just
laundry,
keep-
you know, something like
I
that.
just keep skipping until I hear Houston or Paul, and then turn it off.
Hey, dude, you were the hot topic of conversation for a good little bit of that.
Yeah, what we
And
wanted you
continue
on
to
this
speak.
week.
Yeah.
You're kind of like the hot shot of the CBA right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we-
Seriously, that was one of the coolest things ever. I'm not even kidding. I mean, yeah.
What's
I'm like, oh my god, somebody's actually paying attention to what I'm doing.
Oh,
Wow, that's amazing.
No, we actually gotten like who like and talked like who do we want like on the pod like right now in the off season, and like all of us said you.
Yeah. And then
You kind of filled that Venn diagram for us.
You completed you completed the Columbus Boyd trifecta trade, and you got a trade from all of us. I remember that. V was like, what's Paul talking about with the
trifecta? Yeah, you texted me that DMs. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about.
And you were talking about it with me, like when we made the Fuji trade, and I saw that trade go through, and I was like, that is exactly what trade I was expecting to go through with V to finish it off. Just
That's right.
Shortstop for shortstop.
Well, we had on Dustin
And we killed that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that what is it, Linehan? God, I
Yeah.
can't remember his name. Dude, I love that guy. Yeah. I think V knows what I love is a freaking shortstop who can play and can't hit. I will trade for him anytime.
Hey, he's 80 range.
I didn't give him too much. I gave it, what, Sewell?
It was Sewell in a third for Ezra and a fourth. And honestly, Sewell for me was just going to be
that's
like...
cool, right?
Yeah, like a defensive
It's just a good
guy,
trade.
but he might start at center for me now. So it may have worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had on Dustin last week, so also it was kind of perfect timing because you two are the front runners to win the SL, so it was kind of like back to back. I don't think we've had an SL have these two good of teams. Like, there's never been an SL with a Houston and a Mexico City in a while. So it's
not that I can remember.
Like the SL, I don't want to say it's like never fun, but it's not like sometimes there's some really good rebuilding BL teams. The PL is always fun, but this year like the SL is kind of with you two. It's gonna be a battle. It's really two really good teams.
And I think that's really cool because I didn't realize that Dustin was an OG. Like when J-Dubs, so that's why it was so cool that you did the podcast last time. Like, oh, that's why he's here. And he explained everything that happened. I'm like, oh, so this is a big boy I'm dealing with. Okay, this is a guy who knows what he's doing.
It's kind of funny because I remember like
seriously,
Dustin went straight to the RC because he was obviously commissioner at some point. He went straight to the RC. He was like, I'm back, and we're like, oh god, and then Adam like with his political discourse with Dustin like just posted like a Darth Vader meme. Like it was just hilarious. And I was like, oh god, this kid.
Well, sometimes you get on like Discord and they just are talking for so long, and then I've been away and I'm like, oh my god, I don't have time to even go through it.
Yeah.
So I just assume like god, I hope I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, probably not. I mean, sometimes we have the winter meetings, things that pop up, which is good. We're having more of those recently, which is cool. Are you? Did you get reached out to for Hall of Fame committee at all?
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh,
Nobody reached out to me for that.
Well, if you ever want to be on the Hall of Fame committee, let us know. I don't know if you're that interested in the past year's GOATs, but I mean that's something that we're trying to get a lot of people involved with, which will be nice.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Yeah, because it's fun. It's fun when I see these guys come up, and I'm like, I don't remember any of these guys and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, this New Year's draft
we know.
was really like nostalgic for me because like there's so many people in the New Year's draft. Just looking at that Excel that like used to be on my team or used to be like studs, and I was like, wow, like it felt like where I am today in like the real sports world, where like all the studs I grew up with are now like retiring or washed.
I hear you. No, that'd be great. Awesome. I will.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate this so much. This has been such a fun podcast.
Yeah. I've had a blast.
I love the just everywhere-ness of this. Like I feel like it's just good listening. I mean, like who doesn't have ADHD at this point? So I mean, like, you got to keep the topics changing up real quick. But I really
guys,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So I was just gonna say I appreciate you asking us questions as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that was
seriously.
awesome, man. Thank you.
That's a fun little addition that we don't normally get to have, which is cool.
Well, I had a fantastic time. Thanks so much for having me on. Seriously.
Yeah, and I wish you the best of luck. And I hope you can get down to the spring game. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. and we will be heavily tracking your team in the
Yes.
podcast. So
Yes.
Yes,
You'll
we
be able
will.
to fast forward to a
Well,
lot of polls.
When I get when I get promoted and win the TOC, you have to have me back on.
Yeah,
Deal?
of course,
Forward.
of
Fuck
course.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that.
That's a
end off.
promise.
All right. Well,
No, but I will hit you guys up if I'm in Columbus in April. You said April
14th.
or other.
We'll send something out again.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Glad to
guys.
see you.
Yep. Yeah.
Good luck this season.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
you're gonna do well. You don't even need luck. But yeah, I'm rooting for you because you have half my team, so I'll definitely be checking on your roster every sim and stuff. So
The Houston Moon Empire.
I got you, man. Well, good luck to you guys, okay?
yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Paul. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Thank you.